YouTube, welcome back, or welcome to a very special Phasmophobia Tempest, which I think what it's called, new content game review from me, and I'm doing like a little mini game review of this new update. Most of it I've just written down just brief notes, and I'm going to explain to you properly what I think is best suited. Now, as I go down on the next slide here, this is what I'm going to be talking about most likely. And as you can see, what I would like to see in the game, and obviously they're still working on the game as we speak. Obviously maybe not today because it's a Sunday, so maybe they'll be doing it tomorrow, but this is what I'm thinking. Graphics and performance optimization, the good things and things that might need some more work. Which is almost like the bad thing as well. Some ghost improvements. Yeah, I'm talking about some ghosts that have improvements, and the improvements some are actually not that good improvements. The ghost sightings. Yeah, I would like to see that in the game, and currently in the game at the moment. I'll go more about that in a minute. Changes that I think need to happen, more like what I would like to see in the game, added to the game and all that, as well as changes. But these are my opinions, and well, some of them are my opinions, and some of them I would like to actually see in the game, I'd say. But it's all over to devs at the end of the day. But I just wanted to give my point of view, what I think about the game so far, like what mainly is coming across. So let's go to the graphics and performance optimization, the good things. Now, as you can see, the game looks more realistic. That is a positive. It looks more realistic and better. I do love that bit about it. And the fog looks a lot better, which I forgot to mention about the weather in here. I've got to say, the weather looks good, except for one which I'll mention a little later. The performance is a lot better, but it's still a little laggy for me in certain spots. But not as laggy as it was in campsites or anything like that. There's only a bit like, I'm not sure if that's my OBS or whether it's the game itself. I'm not sure about that. But some people say it's not like in my stream, so hey, I don't know what that's all about. It's more detailed, like in terms of realistic, in that you see what stuff are. Good lighting, yes, it is got good lighting now. They have it, and as I mentioned before, if you saw the light up in Edgefield, the hallway, upstairs hallway light, that was super bright. And it really liked the game when you came close to it. They have actually adjusted that brightness to match the purpose of the area, and it isn't as bright as it used to. However, there is some bad things about that. Lighting, as they are some, I should have put a dash there, light bleed through happening into maps such as Edgefield. Edgefield is one of them. As you saw, I think I made a video about this. You might not see it on the YouTube yet, but you would have seen it on the VODs and on the stream. I've seen that when I turned a specific light on in the room, it actually came up as like there was like a little edge around the outside where the light was bleeding through, so like that was part of the room. And also on Sunny Meadows side, the lights are bleeding through from the upstairs down in the downstairs. You can see little strips down there at top, and that shouldn't be happening. You shouldn't be able to see the lights from upstairs through. Like, I don't know what that is. There are some like bleed through of like daylight in the prison. I don't know how that's happened. Also, the monitors in the prison are super bright, and they're also affecting the outside of where the monitors are, so it's making the outside wall glow green, almost like an alienated, like an alien type of look, sci-fi movie type. That's what I'm trying to get at. The snow weather, as at the moment, looks like ash falling from the sky. You've seen it. But, however, YouTuber, whoever is watching on my main YouTube channel, this might have been already fixed, so please do not correct me on anything. If you're watching from the VODs, you'll see it hopefully next day, and you can comment on there if you wish. And leave your own opinions on it. Freezing Beth, I have noticed this as well, which I don't know whether anyone else, as sometimes white round circles come up. They come up and then disappear, like Haze from Ghost Exile. It comes up like that. I don't think that's meant to be happening, as in I have never seen that happen before. I think that's like a little mini bug in the game. The monitor in the truck, when you get close to it, it has a purple tint of it when the player is looking to the side. That is extremely annoying because you can see the tint coming over as you turn. It's just annoying. I don't know why that's on the cams, on the monitor at all. It's so extremely annoying. But when you move further back away from the monitor and look to the side, it doesn't happen. So I don't know why it's only happening when you're close to it. I don't know whether that's intended or not. So I think that's almost like a bug. Also, there are some bugs still in the game that haven't been fixed, such as I've said this as well. So such as, obviously I haven't mentioned it on here, the lighter, when you can still light the campfire and probably the boiler rooms without the lighter being lit, which surely, I know that's not a major bug, but people will probably use it to their advantage. But obviously I have shown this on my YouTube before and of it happening, but it's like, what? I don't even need to put the light on just to light the campfire. It's so ridiculous. And of course you got the camera glitches, but however I do like the camera glitches glitching through the small tent, because it makes nice surveillance camera through a large area. I do like that effect. I gotta say that is one of my favourite bits, because you can set surveillance, and especially if you're in multiplayer, you could set surveillance of cameras in small tents, have players come there and watch ghosts go around and that, and see everything happening. And also, this brings me on another topic that I would like to see in the game soon. Some ghost improvements. As you all know, that the Wraith has had its walking through salt ability removed. Even though you won't be able to get footsteps, it's been removed, and you can't see this bomb bit, so let me see if I can do something with the cam. Right. Here we are. Now, this is it. Not bad, isn't it? So, as you can see, I know it's not very good. Here we are. Right. Wraith, to me, should have, this is what my version will be, to have Wraith. To have an extremely rare chance to step in salt and leave bloody footsteps behind. If you see the extreme rare chance, that means a certain percentage. That way, the Wraith does not step in salt all the time, but it does have the odd chance that it does, which are then classed as photos in the book when taken with a photo camera, which would be extremely useful to figure out the Wraith, especially if it's a mimic and then the mimic mimics a Wraith. You'll be able to see that in person rather than Because when it's a mimic will always step in salt, but when it's mimicking a wraith, it won't. But then when it comes to change its ghost, you'll see it mimic a wraith, and you'll see it step in salt again. So rather, if you had that bloody footsteps in the mix, then you'll think, oh, one time the mimic will mimic a wraith, leave step in salt, leave bloody footsteps, has that chance. Then after, when it mimics something else, then it'll go back to normal footsteps. So that'll be a nice, cool feature that I would like to see. Also, here's another thing. Shades evidence to be swapped with demons. I have asked this for a while now as well. I haven't mentioned it recently because I don't want to keep mentioning things over again, but I still want this in the game to be swapped. Because as you can see, I've made the brief description. As finding EMF 5 is extremely difficult, I should say, if you are in the same room with a shade. Sorry if it didn't make sense, but sometimes I'm just quick typing and just miss out words. So with the shade, as you see, when you are in the middle, a room with a shade, the shade will just do nothing, especially when you're at 100% sanity. So it makes it extremely difficult for it to do anything to give you EMF 5, unless the shade moves ghost room or goes out of the ghost room, touches the door or whatever, and does EMF 5. So that's why, and I'll talk about what evidence I want to be swapped with the demon and the create on the next slide. And to have a unique rare ability to cast shadows on walls and, in brackets, ghost sighting, that'd be incredibly cool because it is a shade after all, and the shade is like a shadow, so I would like to see a shadow on the wall. That'd be a very good thing, and to be able to take a picture of a shadow on the wall will be cool as well. And deemed evidence to be swapped with the shade, I should put the both, as trying to check for fingerprints when the demon is non-stop chain hunting you is hard. Yeah, it is hard because sometimes it's only when it's sometimes as soon as you step in the house, the demon will instantly go in the hunt. Use the ability and go instantly into a hunt. Straight as soon as you step in the house, what, it gives you no time to check for hiding spots. It gives you especially if you haven't got a smudge in hand, it'll give you no time to get away from it. Especially if the ghost is in the entrance. To me, I think the demon should have use its ability from, I don't know. I think really the demon should not hunt in the same room as you are in. If you're going to have the ability for it to hunt at any sanity to give you chance. So if you just walk in the house, it gives you chance to look for a quick hiding spot or something like that. I've been killed by so many demons. Or the other thing is, I would like demons to fake hunt for its special ability, but I know that might not happen. So I'm not putting that in there. And the Abarke to have a new ability with the soul. Because I'll explain more about that in a minute. And if you look at these, I highlight that in red because I want to see that. That's what I want to see in the game. That's what the Wraith could do because it has allergic reaction, which you will see in a minute. Right, next one here. Here, ghost signs. This is ghost signs explained. To have ghost signs added in the game, so when no one is in the house, they will have a chance to see the ghost pop up or walking around for a few seconds in a transparent or black shadow, that should say. I don't know why I'm messing this up. Why am I making so many mistakes on it? I have got to fix that. That makes no sense. There we go. On with the journey. Here we are. It's fixed. There we go. And so, see a ghost pop up or walking around for a few seconds in the transparent or black shadow figure. Or, as I said, form. On the video cameras in the truck. That'd be so cool to see, and it'll also scare the crap out of some people as well. Because you'll be like, well, that's not supposed to happen, that just popped up out of nowhere. As you can see some examples here. There's one here. There's a transparent figure here. It's just one of those things what you call, I don't know what the word is for them, but it's just for demonstration really, I'm going to call it that. And this one here is the shadow on the wall, but however, this is what I want to talk about the shade. This is what I want to see the shade do, have a rare ability to do. However, when it does a shadow on the wall, it is not. So you only get to see the shadow on the wall, you don't get to see a ghost in real life, it's just a ghost shadow. So, like, that's what I want to see. So, and so you see it from the video camera in the truck, and a chance to get a perfect ghost photo with no glitching effect. Which sometimes it is so annoying to get a ghost photo when you're trying. So like when a ghost event happens and you got the photo camera in the inventory, you got your EMF out, you toggle your inventory for your photo cam, and the ghost just disappears and finishes its ghost event. It is so annoying. While there is a ghost sign, the ghost won't be able to do anything, glitch any equipment. It won't be able to disappear when you get your photo cam out. And also, however, it depending on the timing of the duration of the ghost sign happening. And with ghost signs don't always have to be about figures. It doesn't have to be a figure here or here. It also can be just a piece of audio. It could be like you could just hear whistling in the distance, like what they've done in Sunny Meadows, where you just hear random screams. That could be like something that they could add in any other house, but you could have like whistling effects or anything like that. That'd be so cool in as well. Random sounds in the house that can be heard without using the parabolic mic, like aka the Sunny Meadows Asylum. You can hear screams from far and distant in the corridors, but obviously in the house it'd be different. And maybe in the prison you could have like shouting and like people getting hurt and all that fights effects. Same with the Bouncer High School, you could have shouting as well. Children, you could hear children playing, everything like that. Stuff like that can be added in the game to make it more scary. Also, you could hear children playing in the campsites as well to make it a bit more scary and stuff like that. Something that is totally different. It'll make a great addition for R 2.0, of course. I would think so. Obviously, it might not be totally a good, like, a huge impact on it, but it'll be a great addition because it'll add a little bit of fear and scarism. And ghost signs is not all about full figures. It's all about, like, you could just see a head, you could just see a hand maybe, or hands creeping around the corner of, or hands on the wall, and then when you look around, there's no one there, and then they just appear. Head creeping around the wall, or peeking around the wall. You could have, like, a headless person standing there. You could have the body there, and legs and arms, but no head. You could have, like, stuff like that. You could just have the bottom half. You could have just legs showing and no head or anything, no body. It could be anything like that with ghost sign. It would be so cool and unique, and also have the ability to take photos in the truck as well would be a great addition. Also, can be added to the game stats, so it counts up how many ghost sighting it does. So maybe if you're, say, like, because some people have to go out somewhere, just so, like, it's almost like dots. You know how you can see dots through the cameras, video cameras, when you place dots there, when it's a dots ghost? It's something like that. That is like a ghost sighting right there with the dots. That is what I'm trying to get to it. But it'd be a ghost, even better ghost sign without the dots. So if you see a ghost in the dots, it means it's a dots evidence. If it's out, if there's no dots there and you just see a ghost appear, you know it's just a sighting. So that is what I want to see. And obviously I showed you some images there that we'll want to see. On to the next bit here. Change that I think that should happen. Obviously everyone can have their own opinions as well. There'll be one topic that I'm going to talk about in another time, which is the bottom one. Wraith, like I said before, Wraith to have an extremely rare chance to leave bloody footsteps when stepped in salt, with a cooldown time from having an allergic reaction to the salt for its weakness. And this could also affect the hunt if necessary, so if the Wraith steps in salt, has an allergic reaction and leaves bloody footsteps, then it won't be able to hunt for a certain amount of time. That's another unique ability it could have as well. So you know when it's Wraith. And when salt's nearby, it can teleport away from the salt if necessary. But then that's where the extreme rare chance comes into play as well. Shades who have fingerprint evidence instead of EMF 5, this is what I was explaining about earlier with the swapping the demon evidence and the shade evidence around. As the player have a chance to take photos rather than waiting around for the shade to do something. That is extremely annoying. Because rather than this, because then you're waiting for the shade to touch something to get an EMF 5 effect. Of course you could obviously use the Ouija board to get EMF 5, but if you don't have that Ouija board, then it's going to be pointless. Almost. Unless you get the tarot card to draw a tarot card, or you touch a voodoo doll, which also can be quite annoying if it doesn't do anything. So rather than that, when you get the shade, this is where, if they remove the EMF 5 and add the fingerprints on there, when you get the shade, the player can be, when the shade touches the door or knocks on the window, and it's not in the room that you're in, but outside the room, you can then go around, check fingerprints, take photo, and then come back, and by the time when you come back, it might have already knocked somewhere else, or touch the door, and then you'll be able to get that. That will be so much uniqueness, and it will make it much easier to it'll make players want to get shade more often, because to me, you're just waiting around doing nothing, and then you're like, well, is this a shade? You know, you get what I mean. And then the demon to have EMF 5 evidence instead of fingerprints, rather than the player trying to take photos of fingerprints are at risk of being chain hunted by a demon, as well as taking photos. It's also looking for the fingerprints as well. It is so annoying. So also what I want to add is the demon will on if they do swap the fingerprints and EMF5 evidences around, that the demon will have a double chance of leaving EMF5, so that way you get it sooner rather than walking around and then waiting for that EMF5 to happen. Or you can get it from the chart in the truck. If it's being shady, then you can obviously get the EMF5 from the truck. Easier as that. A barky to have an extremely rare chance to leave six-toed footsteps when stepped in the salt, same as leaving six-fingered fingerprints when it touches a door, or the cooler, or the window. Not on the window. That will be so cool to have it. That'd be two things in salt. The reason why I think the salt needs a bit of buff, because the salt is, because now that they took the Wraith ability to step in salt and not leave footsteps, is made the salt completely useless. The only useful thing for the salt is to take footstep photos, and that's it. There's no other reason why you need salt anymore. And with the Wraith doing EMF2 out of nowhere, that is going to be extremely rare if you can't find it. And also, if it teleports so many times, you'll get confused, especially if you have. So, if you let me just show you one thing real quick along here. So, say like here, I go out here, open this. This is the one thing. This is one thing. If you have this and this combination, you are stuck with these three options, right? So then you rule out that, and then you rule out that, and if it's not them two, obviously it's not going to be freezing either. You're stuck with them two, and they are both roaming ghosts. The only time that you'll know whether it's a Wraith, if you're stuck with them two, is to take a picture of a phantom. Now, sometimes phantoms are going to be very hard to take photo of because of their blink rate, but however, they sort of said in the patch notes that they have solved that issue, so the blink rate is right. So hopefully you might get a photo, but to me, I think getting the Wraith to step in salt, leaving bloody footsteps will be ideal. And I haven't even looked at the new Wraith thing. Wraiths are afraid of salt and will actively avoid it. Seriously? That was not there before. Why would you change that to avoid it when it was allergic to it? What? I don't agree with that at all. Wraiths almost never touch the ground, meaning it can't be tracked by footsteps. Yeah, that, to me, see? Wraiths almost never means it will have an odd chance to touch that salt. So that means that Wraith can touch salt. Or, another thing I'm thinking, what if they could actually blow the salt across the room? That might be a good way to do it. You know what, that will be a good idea. That's another good idea. So if they don't want to be, but if they're afraid of salt and they move from flight through walls, then they could always blow the salt with them as they fly through walls. That could be another thing. Yeah, either one of which, it's got to be a unique ability with assault. And also bring back the assault objective. And then of course the Phantom is that. Taking for the Phantom is that, and then it'll, and this bit here they are mostly coming from Ouija boards. Is that still a thing? Nah. This is why I always play on Professional now rather than Nightmare or anything like that. It's so extremely hard. So yeah, Bloody Footsteps, and now I just thought of maybe the Wraith could blow the salt with it as it flies through great heights, so you'll see the salt move. It's gonna be like the salt, it's gonna be like a salt trail, salt path trail, not footsteps, but a salt trail, and that can be classed as an interaction furrow probably. That could work as well, that'd be so OP. And then you can have the sole objective to return, but however, the sole objective will only return as it has to be changed to not step in salt, but interact with the salt instead of stepping in it. That will, because of the Wraith and the footsteps as well. If they, so two options with Wraith: Bloody Footsteps or move the salt with extreme flight. That'd be great. Because obviously the wind of their extreme flight will take the salt with it. So it's not, they're technically not touching the salt, but you'll know it's a Wraith. That'd be even better. Ghost signs, as I explained, and this is another new thing. Let me just sit back a bit. Audio recorders to hear sound in the truck that are from inside the house. I will cover that topic a bit more in the next game review. So, justice for the Wraith, and also I'm not using salt anymore because it's just so pathetic. And for me to be able to use salt again, I want to have some ghosts have unique abilities with the salt. Even if they make the Wraith, so if the Wraith, so before it was all about allergic reaction, but now it's afraid. So obviously if they're afraid of salt, that's fine, but they do have the odd chance. So you could have the extreme rare chance where they leave Bloody Footsteps, or, and I will put this in now, in the other one here. Or or the salt will move with, or the salt will blow in the direction of where. How do you say again? So it blows in the wind of the race flight. Either one of them will be good. Either one of them will be good. So then you see the ghost, so you see the soul in that. So you see the ghost interact with it. So this is what I want to see. This is all I want to show you. So this is one to show you. I'm gonna play some Phasmo now, and I'm gonna play some Phasmo without even using the soul. That's right. I ain't gonna use the soul. So that's all I want to see, and you'll see how annoying it is throughout the other ones. Some videos show you how annoying the demon is and how annoying the shade is, and how the Barcade only has the special ability with fingerprints, not with salt, and how soon there'll be a video on how annoying the Wraith is by not leaving any footsteps, especially during no evidence runs and when it comes to the mimic, being the mimic. So without further ado, I hope you enjoyed that one over on YouTube. Please note anything I have covered in this game may be outdated or fixed unless you are watching this or have watched this on the Game Nature VOD channel. This was pre-recorded in December 2022, which I should have the date on there, 18th, and uploaded on the Game Nature channel, not VODs, in January 2023. Please leave your own opinions in the comments down below, either on the VODs, if you're watching on the VODs now, or have watched them, and if you're going to watch on the main channel, please leave your opinions on anything that is not fixed or changed, or that is not up to date or anything like that. So, that's it. And let me know of anything else and let me know what you would like to see change as well. That could be a good thing. Let me know your ideas as well. And that being said, I hope to see you soon. I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification. Every time I upload a video, I'll see you in the next video. Bye YouTube! Bye! Bye YouTube!